So this year on the Great Christmas Light Fight, this is our 11th season, which is bananas. I mean, the fact that any show shoots for that long, especially like a Christmas show, is means I think it's a decent show. It's been doing all right. We've been shooting the show for so long, and it's so fun, and I think it's so important to have a show like this because it's just fun, family. The season. It's what I think the world needs right now. Let's be honest, just to be able to sit back and enjoy a crazy, kooky, lots of lights, families that go way over the top, and a little bit of competition never hurts either.
I am really looking forward to it. I love the positivity of this season, and this is a big part of it. Now, 11 seasons, you said.
Yeah.
It seems like every year people just up their games, bigger, more high tech, brighter, millions, billions of lights. Does that continue with this season?
Well, of course. I think what has happened, we're even shooting for season 12 right now, and I think for next year. So I think what happens now, we're in sort of a really cool groove for the show where people start to realize, oh, I can't do that because they did that, in season 5. Or, something like that, where people know to not only get on the show, but succeed and actually win, they have to get on and they have to do something really important and special and awesome. And this year, I think I always say this every year, but this year, not only do we have bigger and better lights, but we have something we've definitely never seen before. And my jaw was on the floor when I saw this, when it was just something that I was so surprised that I was not expecting to see. And I don't take that lightly either. I usually, I think I've seen a lot of stuff in my life, but this was something that was just all inspiring, jaw-dropping at every turn. And that was, that makes the show that much better. So you got to make sure you tune in because I don't want to give it away or else I will, and you might not watch, but there's definitely something we've never seen before.
Okay, so now I'm really excited to spot that and say that's the one he was talking about.
Yeah, you'll know.
A little more. I know giving back to the community, that's really important to you personally and some of the stuff you're into. And what I've seen over the years is these displays aren't just about the families, but a lot of times they actually become a part of the community that they're in. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Well, you got to think like when somebody starts something like this, they do it for themselves, their family. And then when they get to this level, it gets to be really big that the community is really counting on them to do it every year. So it's sort of, I don't want to say it's a burden or a weight or anything because it's not. It's more of like a joy of like expression and opportunity to give back to their neighbors and their community. And that's what really drives these homeowners to continuously make it bigger and better and brighter every single year. And so you come back, they come back and they have to do it. They're committed. Once they're committed after a couple of years and it gets to this level, there's kind of no turning back, or everybody else, just has nowhere else to go. I mean, we actually shot one recently where it was kind of like in the country. It was in the middle of nowhere. And they said, people around here, which I didn't see a house, not even close to where we shot this. But they said the people around here, they have to drive all the way into town, which is like an hour and 15 minutes to see anything that resembles what they have. And sure, they get probably a lot less people, but they still get a huge, swath of area that people come from. And that's why they do it. Although you'd think like, oh, well, who are your neighbors that you're really doing this for? But they're out there. And these people are, they're beautiful people that just continually do this year in, year out.
And I love the way that when you guys arrive, the whole community is there to greet you, showing that this really is about more than just the homeowners. And then I know there's a lot of emotion behind some of these displays, the way it kind of brings families together. Sometimes these pass through generations. You have certain members of the family maybe who have certain different abilities that are able to become a part of this, and that kind of always hits me each year with some of those more emotional aspects of it.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of get, well, I mean, there's different levels of emotion all the way around, whether it's just the lights going on and they're successful because all the lights worked, or there's, a real, there's a story that has a whole lot of heart. And those are the real special ones. Like, when people really give us some detail about why they're doing it, the personal struggles maybe they've been through or their family is going through. And those are obviously, you know, extremely important to showcase and, you know, just show the reason and the why we're all here and why we're here and we exist on this earth, just to, you know, really just love one another. And it's a beautiful thing. Or if you get stories that are generation to generation where the dad and the mom maybe grew up with lights with their parents and now they're doing it with their kids, and that's fun. Or on the flip side of that, when they start to see kids who are kids when they first got to their display and, you know, from the neighborhood, and then now they become teenagers and then they become young adults. And I'm like, and they're like, yeah, those people come back every single year. And that's fun to see. You know, it's fun to see from all different angles, and just diving into those stories is always a treat for me.
Absolutely. So I know, you know, these families, they've been doing Christmas lights, many of them for years, but the exposure they get from being on this show must be incredible. Do you have any stories about what has happened to some of these families after that incredible exposure?
Oh yeah. I mean, the exposure is huge. The exposure is just, it makes it, a lot of these places already have a lot of people, you know, rushing to their door, you know, right when Christmas is around the corner. And, you know, they want to see these displays. But once that, you know, once they get on the show, because it is, you know, we take it very serious, where the places that we go to and we see are the best of the best in the US. I mean, they really are. We'd like to take this international one day, but that's for another season. But you know, it is the best of the best. And these people, they usually have a pretty good, you know, a bunch of fans anyway, but it brings it to the new level, and it just sort of cements their, it gives them a lot of street cred.
The obvious question, what is your all-time favorite house that you've been to, or presentation you've been to?
I don't know if I've ever been asked that question, tell you the truth. Because, well, one, I mean, it's kind of weird. Maybe I have, but after shooting, you know, this many seasons, we've seen quite a few. And I mean, we do, well, this year we have the All-Star episode that's going to air, so we're going to see the best of the best. We also have the heavyweights that are airing, which are like a step above, where they're like parks, they're like botanical gardens that, you know, put on lights, where it's more of a community effort. I think some of those, but there was one in Ohio. It was called Clifton Mill, and I think they had about 5 million lights that they had, and it was on a river. And it was so beautiful the way, because it's not just about putting up lights. It's about putting up lights and doing it in an artistic style, you know, and really making it. And when these lights went on, I just didn't even know what I was looking at. I do love a lot of the tech, you know, people who get up there and they figure out how to, you know, make it work where the lights are dancing around. But I also tend to, you know, lean towards traditional styles too. So I guess I'm a good judge for that, because you know, I don't have one sort of favorite over the other. But the one in Clifton Mill in Ohio, that was pretty special.
Great. And then I just wanted to thank you, because we love your show. It's a great family show. It's one of those that my wife and my 14-year-old son, we all watch together. It inspires him. He's into doing stuff like this. And also, because of where we live, you've done a few houses up here. So we've taken a lot of road trips to visit some of the houses you've highlighted here in Northern California. So
I mean, we're in Northern California every single year. We're going back there in like a week and a half. We're going to be there in Northern California again, shooting for next year.
Right. So more places for us to go see. So I appreciate your time very much, and appreciate the work you've done with the show.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.